Welcome to PRAJNA SPARKS, a podcast where we listen to a Dharma talk, contemplate with our minds and in our hearts, and engage in guided meditation. In this episode, we're going to be exploring mind further. Every episode of PRAJNA SPARKS takes hours to plan, record, and edit. We ask that, if you haven't already, you give us some time today to like, subscribe, share, and review our podcast. Alongside your own practice, this is the best possible offering as it helps the Dharma reach new listeners.
All Buddhist meditation, one could say, is an exploration of mind. Different systems, different philosophies, different approaches in the Buddhist schools will take different angles, images, or imprints of mind as stepping stones, pedagogical tools to help us have some idea of what we mean by mind and how we can experience it directly without the filters of misperception that characterize samsara. Today, we'd like to look at one of the ways of describing the characteristics or properties of mind, namely nonconceptuality. From a Mahamudra standpoint in the Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Buddhism, nonconceptuality is an important step in realizing mind's true nature, and it's also a description of mind on a conceptual basis. Now, that can be very confusing. If the point is that we should arrive at non-conceptuality, then what's all this conceptuality about? Why all these concepts, these words, these ideas? Right there we have a difficulty. It's not that we're arriving at non-conceptuality. Non-conceptuality is the true nature of mind right now. Even amidst all of these concepts, ideas, projections, fantasies that people are day. So let's take a look at non-conceptuality as a means for understanding mind, even amidst the many different elaborations that samsaric mind, with its dualistic tendencies, is wont to put out there. What is meant by non-conceptuality in the first place? Mind itself is considered to be like space, in the sense of there being nothing obstructing it, nothing impeding it, no way to pin it down. This non-conceptual character of mind is also one and the same as the character of our emotions, our sense impressions. All of our experience shares the same essence as mind, and one of those ways of describing that essence is its non-conceptuality. So how can we conceive of non-conceptuality when we're still stuck in this net of ideas, concepts, projections, and so forth? The reason we wanted to start with non-conceptuality is that it's about the raw, naked, direct experience of things just as they are. This is bare knowing, without any overlays, without any projections, without any stories or narratives on any level. Sometimes these overlays can be very basic. For example, is a clap. Laying the word clap with the various meanings and associations we have with that word onto, which is simply sound, is itself a conceptual projection. So you can see right there that conceptual projection in and of itself is not some evil thing necessarily. It's quite useful to be able to describe a clap and distinguish it, for example, from a purr or a bark or a siren. Other conceptual projections are more complicated. They may even cause us more grief. If we have a disagreement with somebody, both parties to that disagreement will have conceptual projections, ideas, and overlays that they bring to the situation. As often as not, the point of disagreement is found in the conflicts between those overlays. Even when we experience things as we go about our day, we don't just say that that sound is a clap. It's not as clean as that. It's obnoxious, or it's wonderful, it's obtrusive, or it's consonant, and any number of other things. From there, all kinds of stories grow. These are the building blocks from which we derive the narratives that run our lives and that we just take for granted. So when we're speaking of nonconceptuality, in the sense of a quality of mind, a property of mind, this is related to mind being empty in essence. In other words, mind having an essence that is one of infinite potentiality. Emptiness does not mean that it is a blank void. Not at all. It means that it is a moment-by-moment, inchoate fertility that can be absolutely anything. Because of that quality, our habits, our upbringing, our culture, our particular embodiment, whether we're of this or that or no particular gender, this or that societal categorization, all of these things can influence how we experience any given thing. It is because mind is empty in essence, because our thoughts share that empty essence, as do our emotions and our sense impressions, that we can lay all kinds of opinions, ideas, concepts, stories upon them. We can have 10 people experiencing an event, and their witness will vary. They will have not only differences in physical perspective, where they are with respect to the event, but also differences in mental or emotional perspective, characterizations that are made about a person's intention or state of mind, something that we cannot possibly know, and yet feels so definite to us. When we engage in Mahamudra practice, we go through layers of experiencing mind in our practice. One of the earliest layers, one of the most important foundational layers, is the experience of one-pointedness. The practice of one-pointedness begins with short expanses of remaining in a balanced state of tranquility for maybe a few seconds, leading to a few minutes and so forth, and then becoming longer in duration and deeper in quality. This is really the essential foundation for any Buddhist practice of insight, which refers to the ability to perceive experience just as it is. Based on our particular degree of experience or realization with one-pointedness, we then can explore nonconceptuality right within our own mind, our own experience, our own day. We can look at our feelings, our thoughts, even something as simple as how we experience different sensory objects, such as sound or a visual appearance, a scent, a texture, a flavor. We can practice absolutely anywhere by exploring our experience with depth, curiosity, and naked attention, letting all of the layers, all of the labels, all of the concepts fall away, even if only for a fraction of a second. Those moments where we start to experience absolutely everything as based in mind are incredibly powerful. We begin by recognizing that there is no genuine reality separate from the apparent reality in which we are absorbed, the phenomenal world around us. Non-conceptuality is the basis of all experience. It's what allows experience to happen. If things really were bad or good, up or down, pleasant or unpleasant, there would be very few disagreements. There would also not be a lot of interest or creativity possible. It is that empty essence of mind that allows us to experience things in infinite variety. The more we continue to cultivate a conceptual understanding of mind in this way and its empty character, the more that conceptual understanding carries us further and further, deeper and deeper, until we have meditative experiences, glimpses of mind's nature in all of its non-conceptual wonder. We can begin to experience that all of the thoughts that disturb our mind and go round and round, keeping us up at night perhaps, are empty of essence. That all of the kleshas, those emotions that disturb mind's natural tranquility, are empty of essence. They are non-conceptual in and of themselves. It is a conceptual projection that brings the turbulence to mind, the butterflies to our stomach. Those meditative experiences of non-conceptuality, naked and direct experience of our thoughts, our feelings, our sensory impressions, our mind, bring us step by step, eventually to the direct realization that the nature of our thoughts, the nature of our emotions, the nature of our sensory experience is one and the same as the nature of our mind. And that the nature of all of these, ultimately, is wisdom. This is the second yoga of Mahamudra, the yoga of non-conceptuality. These are steps or pedagogical tools that are considered useful for practitioners to be able to gauge their practice, deepen their practice, and to move onwards in the enchanting, awe-inspiring, inexplicable experience that is the direct realization of emptiness, non-dual wisdom. For contemplation on non-conceptuality, we're sharing a segment of Moonbeams of Mahamudra, a classic meditation manual by Dakpo Tashi Namgyal, as translated by Kyabje Charlik Rinpoche, a dear teacher of ours, that you can consider, bring to your days as you think about them and as you welcome concepts, words, language, and contemplation as a stepping stone that uses concepts to go beyond concepts, slipping into the ease, warmth, and joy of non-conceptuality. The Avatamsaka Sutra says, if you want to follow the path of the Buddhas, train yourselves in understanding the nature of mind. Abandon any notion of conceptuality or non-conceptuality and understand the nature of space-like mind. The Lalita Vistara Sutra says, the essence of mind is luminous and unconditioned. This is the elixir that enables an understanding of the reality of things. The Samputa Tantra says, when conceptuality is transcended, we come to understand non-conceptuality. The sacred path of the Buddhas is to overcome the samsaric condition by remaining in a state of non-conceptuality. The Samvarodaya says, we contemplate the nature of mind as being of one flavor, just like space. Do not engage in over-conceptualization. The nature of mind is omnipresent and all-pervasive, just like space. The Drishti Samshipta demonstrates the nature of mind, free from empirical determinations and conceptual categories, is intrinsically pure and unpolluted. This is called non-abiding nirvana. It is also called Vajrasattva, Vajradhara, the sixth Buddha family, Manjushri, the god of wisdom, Vairocana, great bliss, great union, the Dharmakaya, the fourth empowerment, co-emergent wisdom, and primordial purity. All these words mean the same thing. Bodhicitta means the same thing. Buddha nature means the same thing. The family of the Buddhas means this. One flavoredness and great bliss mean this also. The ground of samsara, the peace of nirvana, spiritual attainment, the middle way, and the middle view. These are what we need to perceive. These are what we need to meditate on. To begin with, working with sensory experience is a great entryway to touching into nonconceptuality by piercing the conceptual veils we habitually lay over our experience. We're a little less attached to our sensory experience than we are to our emotional experiences, our thoughts, and opinions. So sensory experience is a wonderful place to begin our practice. Lamas Zopa will lead a meditation to pierce through the conceptual veils of sensory experience in the next segment.
This is Zopa and Yeshe for PRAJNA SPARKS. Be sure to join us every month on the new moon for fresh episodes. Stay tuned now for a guided meditation. Shivnee is our Tibetan singing bowl artist. Thanks for the generosity of giving us some time out of your day to like, subscribe, share, and review PRAJNA SPARKS. It really does help us to spread the gift of Dharma to new listeners. If you have any questions, contact us via email, Instagram, or Facebook. Check the episode notes for those links and for more resources on today's topic. Visit us on the web at prajnafire.com or follow us on Instagram and Facebook at PRAJNA SPARKS. Thank you for listening. May all beings benefit. Hello, friends. Welcome to the meditation. Today we're going to be exploring mind further. In particular, we're going to use this meditation opportunity to delve deeper into sensory awareness, particularly teasing out the subtleties of our moment-by-moment experiences in meditation. Meditation can be particularly useful for gaining this kind of familiarity with our experience, as there are generally less distractions for mind to chase after as we sit on our cushion. Of course, there's thoughts, feelings, all of those things can be quite overwhelming, but part of the point of meditation is to settle the mind such that it comes to rest, it slows down a little bit, and we have that clarity that allows us to insightfully, incisively see deeper into mind. And that, in particular, is what we're going to be working with today. We'll begin by engaging in some tranquility practice, and then I will guide us very gently through teasing out the difference between our sensory experience and the consciousness, the mind that works with that, that is aware of that. Hopefully, what we gain some experience with in today's meditation is sifting and refining our own experience so that we get this taste of what's going on all the time. Usually, we're so overwhelmed by appearances, experiences, that we immediately fall into the storylines, the narrative wrapped around it. So today we're going to be working with slowing down, appreciating, generating some curiosity around just what our experience is. To begin with, take a comfortable seat that is both conducive to ease and also alert, something that supports you for not being too tense, but also not being too relaxed. This provides a wonderful basis for mind. Taking your seat in this way, we will now engage in tranquility meditation or shamatha practice. The main point of shamatha is to cultivate one-pointed focus on whatever object we are taking as the focal object for our meditation. This can be our breath. It can be a small external object that's in our field of vision. It can be an imagined sphere of light, our teacher in our heart, or whatever feels particularly appropriate to you. The focal object is just the anchor for our awareness. It helps us pay very close attention to whenever we start to get distracted, whether by thoughts or external happenings. We just recognize that we're veering away from the meditation object and gently bring our attention back to it, letting go of whatever form of distraction may be occurring. So let's practice like that for about 3 minutes. Now, in this settled, clear, alert state of mind, easeful and spacious, turn your attention to one aspect of sensory experience. Perhaps we focus on one area of tactile sensation that's occurring for us just right now. Perhaps it's the feel of our hands in our lap or on our legs, and start to slow down, tease out those subtleties of what is the sensation, what is the awareness of the sensation. Can we separate those? What is the spaciousness of mind in which those sensations, moment after moment, are occurring? Explore very finely and in great detail the subtleties of this moment of experience right now, remaining focused on the subtle sensory awareness, not getting distracted to anything else. What are you noticing? Are you gaining a little bit more familiarity with the nuances of your own experience? Can you tease out different aspects of the sensation, the awareness, the arena in which it's occurring? What else are you noticing? If this ever becomes too overwhelming, you can always relax back into the easeful state of focusing on the breath or another meditation object. Just that gentle ease, welcoming in the spaciousness. Let's explore this further with a different sensory experience. Perhaps we focus on our sense of sound, tuning in fine detail, but without any tension, to what's occurring to our auditory consciousness, what we're hearing around us. Again, for this meditation, get very subtle, looking into the nuances of what's occurring freshly, moment by moment. Can you identify in your experience the sound, the awareness of the sound, its arising and ceasing, and anything else that you notice? And then we can just let go of any focal object, any examination. Just settle, naturally relaxed into awareness. Hopefully this meditation has sparked your curiosity around your aliveness moment by moment, how we engage with life and the world, and in particular, these workings of mind, this interface between what feels to be internal and what seems external, recognizing in our own experience, not logically, not philosophically, but in the very moment, just how subtle and nuanced this realm of experiencing is that we tend to overlook or solidify in the way that we think about the world, ourselves, our thoughts. How amazing and magnificent to start to open up to our moment by moment experience, allowing ourselves to drop in with kind curiosity and awe for what's occurring all the time. Thank you for your practice and everything that you are. Please join me now in sharing whatever goodness has come from this listening, contemplating, and meditating to all beings, that we may all open to the wonder that is ever present for each and every one of us. Thank you.